Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Monday Night America here on May 3rd, 2021. What a glorious evening it is it not? Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for your understanding and your patience. And I want to give a shout out already. Joshua Dalton, buddy, this cup's for you, pal. I'm just sensitive to everyone now, so I just wanted to share everyone how I'm feeling. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'm going to go with this one. Who knows? You're going to have to tell me which is your favorite one that I'm going to use for today. So, I do have coffee, so you tell me. And this one's one of my favorites already. I really do like that one. So let me know which is your favorite one for today. And I do have another one, which is the one that I'm going to keep here in studio, only because that's the only one that I can get away with. I may be taking the other one somewhere else, but for now, that's where we are. Josh, thank you for giving me a little bit of love. Hopefully you guys like that coffee cup. It's one of my favorites right now, but thank you for joining me. Josh, that's for you. Tocayo, thank you for joining me. That's for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night America, as you know, we go over a lot of topics, a little bit of breaking news, stuff like that. This is what and how we started back on the last Tuesday in September of 2008. We've been on ever since. We were a weekly program that branched out into a multi-week program. No, a multi-episodial. I don't know. It's too late in the day, but we're going to get to it. I have 3 jokes planned for today at 15, 30, and 45. Keep me on task if you would, please. I would love it. The weather out here in sunny Southern California, it's only 75 degrees, and it's going to get to an overnight low of 59. So really exciting stuff. Let me know who you are and where you hail from, folks. We'd love to have you in, and we'd appreciate you spending some time with us. So that's the main website. Actually, I'll do this one, and then I'll do this one. Yes. So it was a glorious day. It actually got about to 80, 81 or so, I think it was. Right now, the humidity is 37%. Pressure is 29.80 inches. It is a 10-mile sky. The wind is heading kind of like east, northeast, a slight slant upward, 11 miles per hour. Tired windy. And the dew point is 47 degrees. UV index at this hour is 0 of 10. And the moon phase today is in the last quarter. Wow. History. We've got a lot of stuff we're going to be getting to today. Of course, May 3rd, 2021, as I mentioned. We're going to touch on the let me see. I have to go to my notes already. I do apologize. Wow. Way to go. Way to go, Raj. We're going to be talking about the Japanese war crime trials that took place in 1946. And on this very same day, 1 year later, the new Constitution of Japan. Exactly 1 year to the date. So we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. Want to head on over to one of our favorite magazines of the week. And wow, there it is. All right. Someone in NDB Media gave me a little bit of love. So I do appreciate that. And we actually have a few comments already. No, none whatsoever, Josh. I do not expect for any werewolf or dogman to get me. Heck no. So if any of my friends, family, one and the same, want to go ahead and join me, just let me know. And we'll get it going. But it's 7:04 a.m. Going to head on over. As I mentioned, the week is it's a really cool magazine. I really do appreciate that. I've been reading it weekly for about maybe 10, 15 years now, and I really do like it. So this is what I'm feeling. This was the one I'm going to see if I can get away with. So this is the one for today. Greetings from Tulsa, Oklahoma. That might be DA. I don't know, Josh. I really don't know. This may be DA. I believe he's traveling. So thank you, DA. Thank you for joining us. I understand that you went for the misses. Good for you. I'm glad you guys are out and about. Exciting stuff. And Josh says, what about the owl feathers behind you then? It's all right, Josh. I have peacock vision. Sorry, Royer. But I have peacock vision. I could see and look all around me. Don't peacocks do that? Anyway, talking about the real ones. I'm not insulting Tocayo. Hell no, no way. But I want to get to it right now in some news. I believe we have some significant entertainment news. Kevin Spacey accuser cannot sue him anonymously. A judge has ruled. And this is from Variety. It is about breaking news. A man who claims that Kevin Spacey sexually assaulted him some years ago has to come forward. I said that professionally as best I could. When he was 14 years old, must reveal his name in order to proceed with the lawsuit. The man now in his 50s. Oh, sorry. Man now in his 50s has already indicated to the court he would drop the suit if forced to reveal his name. It's a shame. The man who was identified in the complaint as CD filed suit last September after the state of New York temporarily suspended the statute of limitations for such cases. The man alleges that Spacey had multiple sexual encounters with him in the early 1980s. He alleges that on the final encounter, Spacey attempted to have, rear-facing sex with him while he resisted and repeatedly said no. The suit makes claims of assault and battery, as well as infliction of emotional distress. So, we do know that Star Trek actor Anthony Rapp did make an accusation against Kevin Spacey as well, which led to the downfall of Kevin Spacey. He is no longer anywhere. I do admit he was a favorite thespian of mine, and I've lost interest in seeing items that he is in, but it is what it is. Joshua says, we call that barricading in retail on thieves. I am sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I'm sure I'll be corrected. But folks, one of the best segments I love in the week is Only in America, because only in America can this stuff really happen. A Miami private school is threatening to terminate teachers who do get the COVID-19 vaccination. This is Miami, folks. This is Florida. America's Wang. Anti-vaxxer Layla Sentner, co-founder of the exclusive Sentner Academy, cited reports of non-vaccinated people being contaminated by contact with the vaccinated and informed teachers that if they get a shot, they would not be able to return to school. Only in America. Progressive members of the cannabis industry want to retire the term marijuana on the grounds that it is a racist slur. The word originates in Mexican Spanish. Oh, do you realize how insensitive that was? This is the week. But whatever. Hey, I'm a minority. I can throw all the rocks I want. The word originates in Mexican Spanish. Oh, good Lord. That's like saying, do you speak Puerto Rican? But whatever. And Oregon cannabis purveyor Daniel Hayden says the term was popularized by racist politicians to condemn cannabis use as a Latino vice. Hayden also proposes the use of weed and pot and says any term applied to cannabis other than cannabis is negligent and abusive behavior. Wow. It was a good week for refills, folks. With new research from Portugal's University of Minho that people who drink between 3 and 5 daily cups of coffee have more efficient brains that exhibit increased levels of attention and alertness and improved motor control. Take that. It was also a good week for risk management after the mayor of Pamplona, Spain, canceled the annual Running of the Bulls festival for the second year in a row because of the pandemic. El pandemico. In the interest of public health, no one will have the opportunity of being gored or trampled by bulls on Pamplona's cobbled streets until at least 2022. It was also a good week for tributes after John Hinkle Jr., 39 of Illinois, bowled a perfect game using a bowling ball filled with his father's ashes. I had tears in my eyes in the 11th and 12th frames, said Hinkle. It was a bad week for revisionist history after former Republican presidential candidate Rick Santorum told the crowd of college students that, quote, there was nothing here, unquote, before the arrival of white Europeans. Quote, I mean, yes, we have Native Americans, but candidly, there isn't much Native American culture in American culture. Way to go, Rick Santorum, you moron. Bad week for the bar menu, with reports of a chicken wing shortage across the U.S. Quote, wing supplies are tight, conceded Tom Super of the National Chicken Council, eschewing the alarming word shortage. It was also a bad week for Liberty after Fox News host Tucker Carlson advised his viewers that if they see a child wearing a face mask while playing outside, they are, quote, morally obligated to attempt to prevent it and should, in fact, call the police immediately, contact Child Protective Services, and keep calling until someone arrives. Wow. Wow. Does it get much better than that? I don't know if it does. I really don't. In the news, I don't know if this is entertainment news or political news, but apparently Caitlyn Jenner announced her bid for governor of California last week, advertising herself as the only outsider who can put an end to Gavin Newsom's disastrous time as governor. Newsom, a Democrat, is expected to face a recall election in the fall after Republicans helped collect 2.1 million signatures. That's a little unfair by saying that. The voting public of California, did that. Of course, the Republicans supported it, but there were Democrats that signed it as well. Come on, folks, let it go. And Jenner, a longtime Republican, leads the field of potential challengers in name recognition. But she has no previous political experience. The Olympic decathlete and reality TV star, who is 71, has hired several former Donald Trump advisors, as reported by Axios.com, including Trump campaign pollster Tony Fabrizio. But Jenner, who is transgender, angered LGBTQ activists when she backed Trump in 2016. Quote, now she wants us to trust her? The group Equality California tweeted. Hard pass. Jenner's decision to run hasn't received any support from daughters Kendall and Kylie or former stepdaughters Kim, Chloe, and Courtney. Wow. I think it's going to be a tough sell here in California. If there's any state that's going to be receptive to Jenner, it will be California. But running on the right, I don't get that. I just don't get it. Forgive me for saying I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but if Jenner wins the nomination, it's going to be a blowout. But anyway, I don't want to be that stupid. But hey, I am. This is another one of my favorite articles. It must be true if I read it in the tabloids. A Florida couple tried to hold their wedding at a $5 million mansion without the owner's permission. Courtney Wilson and Shanita Jones just showed up at the gate of Nathan Fingal's suburban Fort Lauderdale estate on the morning of their marriage to begin setting up. When Fingal asked what they were doing, they said that it was God's will that they get married at his home, which boasts an 800-foot bar, swimming pool, tennis courts, and a gazebo. Fingal called the cops saying, I don't know what's going on. All I want is for it to stop. An attorney for Fingal's community said Wilson and Jones knew the mansion was for sale and assumed that it was empty. Wow. It must be true if I read it in the tabloids. An Alaska piñata maker has given children an outlet for their pandemic-related frustration by fashioning corona-shaped piñatas. Carolina Tolade Vidal says kids love to beat her red-painted spiked balls in return for all the things they missed out on over the past year. Rose Consientine, 8, said she enjoyed beating the heck out of the colorful virus. Rose's mother said the coronavirus is, quote, the perfect villain for kids. There was so much cheering when it exploded. It must be true if I read it in the tabloids. A woman in Poland summoned animal control officers after mistaking a croissant for a menacing iguana. The woman was frightened by what she thought was a lizard in a tree outside her window. A Krakow Animal Welfare Society official later speculated that someone had thrown the pastry out of a window for animals to eat, but that it had gotten caught in the tree. They said the alarmed woman still did the right thing by contacting them. It's better to check, the official explained, and be pleasantly disappointed. That's embarrassing, man. That is just absolutely embarrassing. And finally, a little bit of wit and wisdom. Oh, I have the first joke. I ask you to bear with me. Here it is. My wife, Margarita, said, you need to do more chores around the house. House. Roger says, can we change the subject? Margarita says, and we know this is a joke. Okay, more chores around the house needs to be done by you. Go ahead. Judge me as you so see fit. It sounded a lot better in my mind. A little bit of wit and wisdom. Life is rather like a tin of sardines, where all of us are looking for the key. Playwright Alan Bennett quoted in the Irish Times. In the end, you suffer alone, but at the beginning, you suffer with a whole lot of others. Writer Laurie Moore quoted in the Washington Post. One of the symptoms of an approaching nervous breakdown is the belief that one's work is terribly important. Whoa! Uh-oh! Philosopher Bertrand Russell quoted in Goodreads.com. Grief is the price we pay for love. Queen Elizabeth II quoted in the Montreal Gazette. Abstainer, a weak person who yields to the temptation of denying himself a pleasure. Writer Ambrose Pierce quoted in Forbes.com. Happiness quite unshared can scarcely be called happiness. It has no taste. Charlotte Brunt quoted in the Williston, North Dakota Herald. And finally, in wit and wisdom, when someone recognizes you in a grocery store, nod briefly and become a cabbage. Poet Naomi Shihab Nye quoted in interview. As for our poll watch this week, under the week, 71% of Americans agree with the jury's murder conviction of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, including 85% of Democrats and 55% of Republicans and 71% of independents. And final poll watch, 71% of Americans think we all have more common ground than is portrayed in the news. 61% have had constructive conversations with those who hold differing political views, and 93% think we need to reduce divisiveness. I'm in all of those. That is a number that represents me. So I'm there. I agree most wholeheartedly. If there are any comments, let me know. But that is from the week. We love it, folks. Actually, I may have one more item. Innovation of the week. As you heard or did not hear, a NASA device successfully made oxygen on Mars, said Kellen Beck in Mashable.com. The atmosphere on the red planet is 96% carbon dioxide. Converting some of that into usable oxygen has long been a goal of researchers. NASA's Perseverance rover is carrying a toaster-sized instrument made for electrolysis, which has been used on Earth to break down water into hydrogen and oxygen. On Mars, the device called MOXIE, which is short for Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, successfully separated about 6 grams of oxygen from compressed CO2 when running at temperatures above 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. At that rate, It would take 475 years to produce enough oxygen to lift a future spacecraft carrying 4 astronauts. However, NASA views the experiment as a key step forward. Yes, it does. Thank you, Week. Absolutely awesome. So, I do want to remind everyone that Blog Talk Radio is still very active in the network. And I want to thank everyone for the good thoughts and good wishes. Yes, I was not feeling it a little while ago. Let me see. I apologize. blogtalkradio.com/NDB Media. There it is. If you want to check out what's going on in Blog Talk Radio, there's a lot of it on there. Let me go to this one right here. blogtalkradio.com/NDB Media. So, you can check that one out. Enjoy it. Absolutely awesome. So I guess it didn't go to the Twitch channel, but we'll see. So anyway, tomorrow we have Fandom Access. This is on Blog Talk Radio, NDB Media. We also have Travel Talk Radio. And every other Wednesday we have the Rock and Roll Shrink. On Thursdays we have Travel Itch Radio. And on Sunday we have Casey Shapiro's The Walking Dead. It's a unique program. What they do is they're on 30 minutes before the program is live. While the program is live, they go dark. The program is still on, but it's silent. The minute they go to the commercials, then they start talking the program, and then they go silent during the episode. Next break, they get back to it. And then finally, when they're done, they will talk for the 30 minutes about the episode. So check it out. And that one is at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, if I'm not mistaken. Check it out. And over on this channel right here, on the NDB Media television site, I guess. Of course, we have Monday Night America. And then the following week, we have The Nightmare Hunter, and we repeat. Yeah. And then during the week, we have on Saturday, Sports Talk with the Guys, which is on at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Then at 7 p.m., we have DAX Machina, which is on at 7 p.m. Pacific time. On Sunday, we have Jedi.tax Online at 8 p.m. And then on the other, on the other Sunday, we have All Tower Media. And then, not Jedi.tax Online, but we have a new program that's going to be debuting, Dream and I. We're looking on doing some sort of financial money investing type program. That will debut sometime possibly in June. I don't think it'll be in May. And that's the way it's going to be. So it's going to be Jedi.tax Online, All Tower Media, Unknown Financial Program, All Tower Media, Jedi.tax Online, All Tower Media, Unnamed Financial Program, etc., etc., etc. Ad infinitum, ad absurdum. So, 723, thank you. And we got ourselves another love right now. Thank you, Josh Jones. Thank you for joining us. Had to give a little bit of love to the network out there. We're going to be announcing it. Everyone, you all know what's going on. We're sharing the love. We're all growing. You can head on over to ndbmedia.net or our Facebook page. And 2 more bits of love. I want to thank you, folks. I want to get the shout out. Josh, I was thinking about you today, Josh, as I stopped at a store. So I'm going to salute you with a cup full of, I think it's only water right now. But yes, all my love and affection. But anyway, that's the one for today. I did get a shout out, and this is a real coffee. All Tower Media and Josh Jones. So I am, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, thank you, All Tower Media. Yeah, I had to be foolish. So it's all good. Folks, on this day in history, back in 1946, the Japanese war crime trials began. Of course, in Tokyo, Japan, the International Military Tribunals for the Far East begins hearing a case against 28 Japanese military and government officials accused of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity during World War II. On November 4th, 1948, the trial ended with 25 of 28 Japanese defendants being found guilty. One of the three other defendants, two who had died during the lengthy trial, and one was declared insane. On November 12th, the War Crimes Tribunal passed death sentences on 7 of the men, including, at the time when the war began, Premier General Hideki Tojo, who served as Japanese premier during the war, and other principals such as Iwani Matsui, who organized the rape of Nanking, and Hitaru Kimura, who brutalized Allied prisoners of war. 16 others were sentenced to life imprisonment, and 2 were sentenced to lesser terms in prison. On December 23, 1948, Tojo and 6 others were executed in Tokyo. Unlike the Nuremberg trial of Nazi war criminals, where there were 4 chief prosecutors to represent Great Britain, France, the United States, and the USSR, the Tokyo trial featured only one chief prosecutor, American Joseph B. Keenan, a former assistant to the U.S. Attorney General. However, other nations, especially China, contributed to the proceedings, and Australian Judge William Flood Webb presided. In addition to the central Tokyo trial, various tribunals sitting outside Japan judged some 5,000 Japanese guilty of war crimes, of whom more than 900 were executed. Some observers thought that Emperor Hirohito should have been tried for his tacit approval of Japanese policy during the war, but he was protected by U.S. authorities, who saw him as a symbol of Japanese unity and conservatism, both favorable traits in the post-war U.S. view. Wow. Take it for what it is. 1 year later. Oh, I messed up, didn't I? Yes, I did. I closed my notes. Way to go. That was very smooth. 1 year after that, the new Japanese Constitution goes into effect on May 3rd, 1947. 3 minutes to the second joke. On May 3rd, 1947, Japan's post-war constitution went into effect. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Progressive Constitution granted universal suffrage, stripped Emperor Hirohito of all but symbolic power, stipulated a Bill of Rights, abolished peerage, and outlawed Japan's right to make war. The document was largely the work of Supreme Allied Commander Douglas MacArthur and his occupation staff, who had prepared the draft in February 1946 after a Japanese attempt was deemed unacceptable. As the defender of the Philippines from 1941 to 1942 and commander of Allied forces in the Southwest Pacific Theater from 1942 to 1945, Douglas MacArthur was the most acclaimed American general in the war against Japan. On September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay, he presided over the official surrender of Japan. According to the terms of surrender, Emperor Hirohito and the Japanese government were subject to the authority of the Supreme Commander for Allied Powers in occupied Japan, a post filled by General MacArthur. On September 8th, Supreme Commander MacArthur made his way by automobile through the ruins of Tokyo to the American Embassy, which would be his home for the next 5.5 years. The occupation was to be a nominally Allied enterprise, but increasing Cold War division left Japan firmly in the American sphere of influence. From his general headquarters, which overlooked the Imperial Palace in central Tokyo, MacArthur presided over a reconstruction of Japanese government, industry, and society along American models. MacArthur was a gifted administrator, and his progressive reforms were for the most part welcomed by the Japanese people. The most important reform carried out by the American occupation was the establishment of a new constitution to replace the 1889 Meiji Constitution. In early 46, the Japanese government submitted a draft for a new constitution to the general headquarters, but it was flat out rejected for being too conservative. MacArthur ordered his young staff to draw their own version in 1 week. The document submitted to the Japanese government on February 13, 1946, protected the civil liberties MacArthur had introduced and preserved the emperor, though he was stripped of power. Article 9 forbade the Japanese ever to wage war again. Before Japan's defeat, Emperor Hirohito was officially regarded as Japan's absolute ruler and quasi-divine figure, if not divine. Although his authority was sharply limited in practice, he was consulted with by the Japanese government and approved of its expansionist policies from 1931 through World War II. On a side note, there is, I don't know if I want to call this revisionist history, but there is something going on that, for those of you that know, don't war. As we understand, World War II began on September 1st, 1939, with Germany invading Poland, and it ended on September 2nd, 1945. There is some talk, scholarly as well as non scholarly, that World War II actually began either in 1937 or in 1931. I don't know if I'm ever going to see that come to pass, but it looks to me that the realm of World War II may change. Josh, you may see that. I probably won't. But hey, it is what it is. I'm going to take a quick break. And folks, we're going to get to our second joke. Hopefully you like this one. Actually, I'm going to keep that one as my reserve joke. Romance mathematics. Josh, maybe math will like that one. Ooh, I almost went with Mateo. Did you notice I stuttered? I caught it. Romance mathematics. Smart man plus smart woman equals romance. Smart man plus dumb woman equals affair. Dumb man plus smart woman equals marriage. Dumb man plus dumb woman equals pregnancy. Office arithmetic. Smart boss plus smart employee equals profit. Smart boss plus dumb employee equals production. Dumb boss and smart employee equals promotion. And dumb boss plus dumb employee equals overtime. In 2015, I worked 300 hours of overtime. In 2016, I worked another 300 hours of overtime. Shopping math. A man will pay $2 for $1 item he needs. A woman will pay $1 for a $2 item that she doesn't need. General equations. A woman worries about the future until she gets a husband. A man never worries about the future until he gets a wife. A successful man is one who makes more money than his wife can spend. All right! A successful woman is one who can find such a man. I'll stay quiet on that. Happiness. To be happy with a man, you must understand him a lot and love him a little. To be happy with a woman, you must love her a lot and not try to understand her at all. My mama told me years ago, I think I would, well, definitely before I knew my wife. I forget what, I guess she caught me in the middle trying to figure some relationship stuff out. She said, "Oh, mijo, by the time you start taking the walk in this journey, the woman has already gone and come back. You're done, homie." Of course, she didn't say homie, but I just had to throw that one in there. Longevity statistics. Oh, here we go. Here we go, Josh. To be happy with a man, you must understand his stomach. That's what I was thinking. Oh my goodness. How hard is that? Married men live longer than single men, but married men are a lot more willing to die. Propensity to change. A woman marries a man expecting he will change, but he doesn't. A man marries a woman expecting that she won't change, but she does. Oh, hell yeah. And of course, this is a discussion technique. A woman has the last word in any argument. Anything a man says after that is the beginning of a new argument. Ho! That's the 7:30 joke of the day. It took me 4 minutes. Sorry, folks. But continuing to read on, I do apologize. I was mentioning 1937, 1931 as the elongation of World War II. Hirohito feared with good reason that he might be indicted as a war criminal and the Japanese imperial house abolished. MacArthur's constitution at least preserved the emperor as a symbol of the state and the unity of the people. So Hirohito offered his support. Many conservatives in the government were less enthusiastic, but on April 10, 1946, the new constitution was endorsed in popular elections that allowed Japanese women to vote for the first time. The final draft, slightly revised by the Japanese government, was made public 1 week later. On November 3rd, it was promulgated by the Diet, the Japanese parliament. And on May 3rd, 1947, 1 year after the commencement of the Japanese war trials, it came into force. And then the final thought on that, in 1948, Yoshida Shigeru's election as a prime minister ushered in the Yoshida era, marked by political stability and rapid economic growth in Japan. In 1949, MacArthur gave up much of his authority to the Japanese government, and in September 1951, the United States and 48 other nations signed a formal peace treaty with Japan. Tangent: Russia, or the Soviet Union, and Japan never signed a peace treaty. So I would have to assume that the Russia, as we know today, the Russian Federation, has not signed a peace treaty with Japan. On April 28, 1952, the treaty went into effect and Japan assumed full sovereignty as the Allied occupation came to an end. A little bit of history, a little bit of love, a little bit of a lot of things going around. I got to tell you, hey, it feels like, okay, the temperature has gone down a bit. It was 75 when we began, and now it's 73. So, like I said, if any of my friends, family, however, would like to join me, it would be great. Here we go. Josh says, I never understood the mistreatment and undervalue of women by men in history, as well as today. We literally would not be here without them, and we would not be raised to be halfway decent citizens without our mamas. You know, Josh, it's right there, man. And I love how you finished it with mamas. That's so real. With our mamas. It's right on, Josh. I don't want to say that's the truth, but I want to say that I most wholeheartedly acquiesce to your commentary and look upon it with positivity and acknowledgement. Yeah, I agree. You don't need my tacit approval. It's what I was talking about in the program last time about allowing you to be on the network when you said, "Thank you for allowing us." No, 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 no. That's my same thinking, and I believe you'll get that more of me. I don't take myself seriously. I have a fragile ego, as was witnessed. Oh, it was so funny, folks. I was visiting with the program last night, All Tower Media. Josh, the name of the program, please. And wow, I got blown on air numerous times. But Josh said, if we get around to playing this game, Raj, you will be captain. I'm like, ooh, that's all right. And then DA would be first officer. I was like, ooh, he's the one that runs this community. So, and then Matt would be something else, and Josh would be something. And I readily said, well, I didn't readily say, but after a while, it's on State of the Nerd, which is on every other Sunday here. Check it out on StreamYard, and of course, part of the NDB Media Network, Empire, Federation, Concordium, whatever you want. And probably be Concordium, because I don't want to call it a republic. Federation, I'd love it to be a federation, but that's too much of a ripoff of Star Trek. But that wouldn't be a first time, right? Kirk to Spock. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my goodness. My communicator. Where's my Did I lose my communicator? Where is my communicator? Oh, I must have left it inside. Oh, darn it. You know, my flippy one. You know, the Kirk communicator. But State of the Nerd. And I'm losing my train of thought. I better get back to it real quick. Okay. Oh, yes. So, yeah. You know, I said, hey, you know, I'm flattered to be captain. But, you know, hey, if someone else is more worthy out there, you can go ahead. And I paused, and I'm not sure if it was Matt or Josh. They said, well, you know, DA, and DA said something to the effect of, no, I'm good in my role. I know what it is, whatever. But then somehow, somewhere, they said, well, you could be captain. And I was like, oh, no, that's okay. I'll be captain. It went all of like 3 seconds of me. Oh, no, don't need to choose me as captain. Oh, wait, yeah, I'll stay as captain. Our benevolent dictator. I mean, station manager. Oh, I got 4 cups. I went shopping today. So forgive me. I love it. There was another one that just said I'm the boss. But when my daughter and I saw that one, we thought that might have been a little bit better. So, sorry, folks. We're being juveniles right here. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. Oh, my goodness. Thanks, Josh. So, let me see. We're coming in a little bit early. Actually, I did prepare quite a bit of a material, but I may have run out of items. Wow. Is this going to be a Monday Night in America that's actually going to finish up a bit early? May 5th is coming up. And, folks, it is not Independence Day in Mexico. It is the Battle of Puebla, fought, I believe, in 1815 or 1805. I don't remember. And I even fought in the Battle of Puebla. I was in the 4th grade. Miss Lemmings was our instructor, and there were 5 of us dressed up as Mexican farmers, and there was like 20 or 25 French soldiers, and we were all dressed up. We were all, the French had their little cardboard X's over them, dressed in blue and red and all that stuff, and the little campesinos, the little Indians, were dressed up in their Indian garb. And I believe I was a narrator in the event, or I don't know. I had some booming voice role, and we thought we were going to win like the week prize, and we didn't. And Mr. McGowan, the principal, got so mad at us. Just because you performed and did a great job and everything doesn't mean that you deserve the weekly prize. It was so funny. We busted our heinies on that one. But anyway, what happened in the Battle of Puebla was that a colonial power got whooped. Yes, May 4th and May 5th. Yes, that's some other stuff that we're going to get to. May the 4th be with you, and May 5th, is that Revenge of the Sith? May 6th or May 6th or something like that? I'm not certain. But May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, and the way it is, Cinco de Mayo is a Southern California thing. Because this is what happened in history, and we know this to be a fact, is that by the time word got up to Northern California or Alta California, that's why you have Alta California and you have what is known as Baja California. Baja California remained in part of the Mexican Union, whereas Alta California was given away by Santana to the United States of America. But we'll talk about that another day. We're talking about how Cinco de Mayo came about. Cinco de Mayo was that it was a big victory. It was greater than Wake Island. Well, Wake Island was not a victory. Forgive me. And we'll talk about Wake Island one of these days. I did on Blog Talk Radio on the History Channel, blogtalkradio.com/history. My brother and I did something like that years ago. Yes, Josh. You of all people do know this. So the reason why it's a California thing, it really is number one, it gives us an excuse to go out and have a pachanga, Nothing for pachanga, hotel, casino, or anything like that. Nothing against the tribe, against the pachanga tribe. But word arrived of the battle about 2 weeks after. And it was a big deal. So they celebrated. They went to town. And it became really cool that it was an event that was celebrated here in Alta California. And they just never stopped. The French got whooped. They got whooped big time. And it was freaking hilarious. And that's the only reason why. It is celebrated up here. The celebration stuck. Whatever we did in 1805 or 1815, whichever year it was, going by memory, it was so awesome. The party that we're going to do it again. Celebrate the Battle of Puebla. And that's what it is. Cinco de Mayo is the Battle of Puebla. And it is celebrated in Alta California, which includes other parts, Arizona, Nevada, those portions. And that is why Cinco de Mayo is celebrated. It's a big deal here in the Californias because we just had a great party and we decided never to stop. And that's what it is. I have another comment. Oh, it's Revenge of the 6th is dealing with the hangover after Cinco de Mayo. That's funny. Revenge of the Sixth. I guess that's Revenge of the Sith. Yes, because May the Fourth be with you. I like that one. That was very good. My daughter Jimo and I were in that bookstore, the only one that's still around, and there was a nice book set, The Ways of the Force, and it was a Sith book, a Jedi book, and I forget what the other one was. It was a 3-book collection. I'm gonna have to check that one out. But I know my daughter wanted to get some books, so we're gonna do it by Kindle, and we'll see. And my assistant Claudia has my Kindle. I'm so PO'd. I've not been able to. Well, I could read, but she obviously wasn't paying attention to the rules, so she obviously kept my Kindle. Ugh, bummer. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully, I'll be getting that back tomorrow. I want to thank everyone and their good thoughts. The headaches, I didn't have to take any Tylenol today. I am tired. I really am. I'm looking forward to a good day tomorrow. Um, I didn't have to take Tylenol. Did I have headaches today? Yeah, I have them in the morning. And that's the tough part, is waking up and having to deal with that headache. And it goes for about 6-7 hours, and it goes away. And I haven't had it since around midday or so. So, yes, I did take the Johnson & Johnson shot, inoculation, vaccine, whatever you want to call it. And that's all. I didn't feel it in the arm. I have been somewhat tired, but it's going away. It's passing. But now that I'm talking about it, forgive me. Believe it or not, I actually feel it. Not. I guess that's the brim, because this would be the rim, right? The rim of the cap. I'm actually feeling a little bit in the brim. So forgive me. I'm going to scare everyone. I'm going to remove the cap, because now that I'm talking about it, I think I'm feeling it. Ugh, yes, scary. Sorry, folks. I think I just blinded by the light. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not an action that we condone here on NDB Media. It is not something that we agree with. It is not something that it was done by design. One of our hosts lost control, and we are sorry for any attempt at copyright infringement whatsoever. We will never sing again, and that host will never attempt. Although I do want to tell you that when it comes to that one song, I think it's the closest that I could ever come to imitating anyone. Oh, baby, you got what I need. You say he's just a friend. Oh, you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you. I'm stupid, folks. What a shock. But there it is. That's about the only song that I might actually be able to get close to sounding like someone famous. So there it is. And it did. And it did. So it's over and done with. So, folks, if anything, you got a little taste of what we do here on Monday Night America. We discuss entertainment news. We discuss a little bit of history. Didn't really get into politics today other than the commentary of some items. I love the Only in America segments. I love it. And Good Week and Bad Week. I love those segments a great deal. So I do want to thank everyone for joining. I hope you did like the cups. Let me know in the chat room which one was your favorite cup. There's this one, of course. Let me see. Of course, the coffee one. I think I only held that one up once. And then, of course, there's the Benevolent Dictator one. Sorry. And, of course, there's the real one. That was pretty bad. Let me know which one is your favorite. Next week here on this same time, the Nightmare Hunter returns. But, yeah. Yeah, it returns. Check out DAX Machina this Saturday. Sports Talk with the Guys is also on this Saturday. Check it out. You can find almost everything on the NDB Media Facebook page. We're trying to make that every program that is on related to us, all is on the Facebook page. We're going to be doing that now. And I thank Josh for doing that. And and DA is there. He says we have a guest next week. Wow. I guess El Guapo is going to have to whip out the plethora. No, I said that incorrectly. No, actually, I think I said that correctly. He's going to have to whip it out. MK Davis. Excellent. Absolutely awesome. So we're looking forward to that, folks. In the meantime, that's DA Roberts. That's Josh. And of course, we had Mr. Dalton on earlier. We had Roger Peacock. We got several likes today. We want to thank you, All Tower Media, Josh Jones, of course, NDB Media, which I believe was DA himself. And we did get several others, Roger Peacock and Joshua Dalton. We want to thank you for joining us for a little bit in this little nirvana. All we do is commentary about things that are going on in the world today. So tomorrow, May the 4th, Star Wars fans, may the Force be with you. 5th, oh, wait a minute. Ooh, that one was wrong. I think NSA might be after me on that one. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that one. That one was stupid. But arriba! Yeah, there it is. There, that's Cinco de Mayo. Okay. And of course, May the 6th is May 6th. So it's really good stuff. All right, Siri's talking back to me. We're going to be ending up early. Did I get to the third and final joke? I don't know if I did. No, I don't think I did. That was supposed to be at 7:45. Let me get to that joke right now, folks. And forgive me a moment. We did. Yeah, okay, here it is, boys. Actually, I have a special. We're going to do 2 final jokes to get us out of here. 2 boys, Josh and DA, were arguing with their teacher, Roger, and enter the room. Roger says, "Why are you arguing?" DA says, "We found a $10 note and decided to give it to the person who tells the biggest lie." "You should be ashamed of yourselves," said Roger. "When I was your age, I didn't even know what a lie was." The boys looked at each other. Josh got the $10 and handed it to Roger. It was funny. It was funny. You know it was funny. You know it. You liked it. Anyway, here's the last one. Why can't a lesbian go on a diet and wear makeup at the same time? Because they can't eat Jenny Craig and have Mary Kay on their face at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night America, and we got a last minute by D.A. Roberts. Thank you, folks, and absolutely awesome. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. I like it. I like it. We are stupid here on Monday Night America. All right, folks. We're up. We're out. We'll see you guys. Peace. Oh, we'll see you on the other side. Peace.